How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I have a series of videos to report about how rape victims, and let's be real specific, let's say now white rape victims are being treated by their own. This is another example of the enemy eating its own flesh. And we all know in the royal family, anytime we commit a crime, when they convict us, it's to the far extreme. And we been seeing lately, many judges are getting the backlash from their own by letting their own literally get a tiny slap on the wrist. Rape is horrific. So all these things that I'm going to present came forth today. So I said I might as well just do it all in one. That's why the video is a little bit longer than the usual. So this came out this morning on CNN. A judge who was lenient on a teen accused of a rape because he came from a good family. Okay, Lord, is getting threats. Well, what the fuck you think was supposed to happen? I mean, this dude raped this girl, and it ain't no big deal to you. So, let's listen to this video. It's a little over 4 minutes.
Judge ruled that a teenager accused of raping a girl at a party deserved leniency because pressing criminal charges could ruin that teen's life. Judge James Troiano said, quote, "This young man comes from a good family who put him into an excellent school where he was doing extremely well. He is clearly a candidate for not just college, but probably for a good college. His scores for college entry were very high." This all started in 2017 when a 16-year-old boy allegedly raped a 16-year-old girl at a party. The boy was also accused of filming the alleged assault. Prosecutors say that he forwarded the clip to several friends. One of them said it showed the girl apparently incapacitated by intoxication, her head repeatedly hitting a wall. Prosecutors also claimed that following the incident, the boy sent a text message to his friend saying, quote, "When your first time having sex was rape." Goodness. Prosecutors asked the judge to try the 16-year-old as an adult. However, the judge denied that request, and he scolded prosecutors for not explaining to the girl and her mother the devastating effect that filing charges in adult criminal court would have on the boy's life. Last month, an appellate court reversed Judge James Troiano's decision. It is now up to prosecutors to seek an indictment in adult criminal court. Criminal defense attorney and CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson joins me now to discuss. So, remarkable circumstances in this case. I mean, have you seen judges do this before? Talk about, well, he's a good kid. That's a mitigating circumstance.
Unfortunately, you do. Now, breaking it down further, so let's talk about what happened here. There's a 16-year-old who engaged in an alleged sexual assault, filmed that sexual assault with him penetrating the girl. And what prosecutors did, very aptly and justly, Jim, was they said, you know, we're going to treat this as an adult offense. So what you do is you petition the court to try him, the 16-year-old, in adult court. And in the context of doing that, because you meet certain factors, one of those being if you were an adult, it would be a felony rape case. And so they do that, and the judge says, not only will we not do it, but we're going to re-victimize the victim by saying you didn't adequately explain to the family the effect it could have on their life. This is a problem in many ways. First of all, and from a legal perspective, then we'll talk social. From a legal perspective, the judge was wrong on the law. You don't evaluate someone's family, where they come from, who they are in the context at all. In the context of deciding whether something is appropriate for a higher court, as in this instance, you look and you determine, are the factors present? Would it have been a crime, a felony crime, if he were an adult? That's the issue. The issue is not what the judge did. That's the legal problem. The The social problem, Jim, is that what we all know, right? This is another thing of privilege gone amok. If we're going to have a system, the system has to work for everyone. Otherwise, people lose faith in it. And people ask the obvious question: would this have occurred if this was a person, from a disadvantaged background, a disadvantaged community, a person of color? And the answer is resoundingly no.
And that was
that's
in
problematic.
the panel when they were criticizing this decision. They said exactly that. They said that the juvenile came from a good family and had good test scores. We assume would not condemn the juveniles who do not come from good families and do not have good test scores from withstanding waiver application. It's right there in the way the appellate court handled this.
It is, and I think they did their job. And what that was to look at this judge and to rebuke him accordingly, because that's not the standard. What does it say, number one, to the victim that you treat this crime as you do and just dismiss it and deminimize it? What does it say to people at large that if you come from good families, whatever that is, we're going to treat you differently? Because you have privileged backgrounds, we're going to treat you differently. If you don't, though, we're going to. Think about the implication. If the judge would have granted this, and now, of course, it is granted, he's being treated in a higher court. When you are a juvenile, it's about rehabilitation, not about jail. If the judge would have granted the prosecutor's application, now it gets tried in adult court, which it will now, and the implications are so serious, up to 20 years in jail.
Yeah.
So how many times does this happen, I want to ask the question, where we're not talking about it on the news, where as a matter of standard parlance and practice, judges throughout this country, not only in New Jersey, are making decisions predicated upon someone's family, predicated upon their background, and not predicated of the merits of the offense and what they did and what they did deserves. And that's a shame.
Preach on it, brother. You preached on it. I have to give it to you. You
My
brought it.
experience with
He brought it. He really did. What I forgot to mention, and I'm glad that the brother said it, all of the judges that I am talking about, all three, are from New Jersey. All right? So, something fell on my lap, and I seen it over there on Kemet God Twitter. So, this judge right here, with fat Chris Greasy Ass, her name is Marcia Sylvia, and check this out. Judge faces backlash for saying 12-year-old rape victim didn't suffer. So let's see what's going on in here. Let me take this down. So let's see here. I'm not going to read all of this, but it says Judge Marcia Sylvia said that a 12-year-old rape victim did not suffer especially serious harm. Sylvia refused to charge a 16-year-old boy accused of the crime as an adult, saying the offense is not an especially horrendous or cruel offense. I'm shocked, and I didn't use these words lightly. I really am shocked by the comments that were made, state Linda Greenstein. Greenstein and at least 3 other state lawmakers are calling for Sylvia to be removed from the position and for an investigation. Any kind of sexual penetration on a 12-year-old has to be a horrendous act, Greenstein said. Sylvia wrote in her August 2018 ruling, the victim did not suffer any physical or emotional injuries as a result other than the ramification of losing her virginity, which the courts did not find to be especially serious harm in her case. What a bitch. Wow. The 12-year-old clearly will be scarred for life as a result of that type of behavior, and the judge did not seem to understand how serious the problem is, said Greenstein. So that, to me, is a judge who should not be sitting on the state of New Jersey, or any state should be removed from the bench. All right. So I'll just leave it right there. Let's see what this video has to say.
More Democratic state senators are calling for the removal of a judge who said a 12-year-old rape victim did not suffer especially serious harm.
News 12 New Jersey's Alex Zidane has more from Middlesex County.
I'm shocked, and I don't use those words lightly. I really am shocked by the comments that were made.
Shocked, outraged, and demanding an investigation. Lawmakers, including State Senator Linda Greenstein, say Judge Marcia Silva is not fit to be a Superior Court judge. This after Judge Silva refused to charge as an adult a 16-year-old boy accused of raping a 12-year-old girl, saying the offense is not an especially heinous or cruel offense.
Any kind of sexual act perpetrated upon a 12-year-old has to be a heinous act.
In her August 2018 ruling, Judge Silva wrote of the 12-year-old girl, the victim did not suffer any physical or emotional injuries as a result, other than the ramifications of losing her virginity, which the court does not find to be especially serious harm in this case.
The person clearly will be scarred for life as a result of that type of behavior. And the judge didn't seem to at all understand how serious that problem is. So to me, that's a judge who should not be sitting here in the state of New Jersey or any state and should be removed from the bench.
The appellate division reversed Judge Silva's decision last month. The controversy comes on the heels of a Monmouth County judge who declined to charge another teen charged with sexual assault as an adult because he said the boy comes from a good family.
I think we have
Lord.
to dig deep and find out how much training these judges are being given. Are they able to properly handle these cases? Do they understand the legal and other standards that they have to apply? I'm getting the impression that they don't.
In Monroe Township, Alex Zidane, News 12, New Jersey.
News 12 New Jersey contacted Judge Silva for comment earlier today. A spokesperson for the state judiciary responded that judges are not allowed to make statements on pending cases.
Wow. Now, my royal family, some of these videos that I do, I don't listen to the videos, and some I do. And did y'all hear that? Come from a good family. It could have been to somebody she even known, but since this evil ass judge wanted to go there, maybe her ass got knocked up at 10 and she enjoyed it. You know, it'd be some shit going on in their personal lives when they rule down the way that they rule down. And the only reason they doing this is because it is affecting the enemy, but not their supporters. All right? So the supporters, you hear what I'm saying? They're not protecting you. They're worried about their own. So as we continue on, while I was doing my research, this pops up. Now, I always say the best for last, and I forgot to let the royal family know what I'm showing is a bonus video. Anytime I bring a bonus video to the royal family, it's juicy. Ooh, real juicy. So check this out. I get this today. New Jersey, oh God, I can't even get it out of my mouth. New Jersey judge who asked rape victim about closing her legs is sorry, his lawyer says. Now your ass is under fire. Closing her legs. This came out today, and y'all see the date on there. They got a picture of his ass on October 17th. Overcoming the enemy in a complete victory. And I wanted to bring up something to the royal family real quick. I see that a lot of y'all on that retrograde video that I put up, just so I could throw that in real quick. And I noticed it too, because I don't time my videos. I seen that 11 popped up. And so during the retrograde phase, my royal family, the meaning of the number 11 is important, that it symbolized disorder, chaos, and judgment. And that's what happens during retrograde. And I wonder, when all these rulings that was coming down, was it under retrograde? Sometimes I pay attention to that and say, okay, they in retrograde working on their ass. They bringing out their true ass nature. So as we continue on, let me read this. A New Jersey judge who asked a rape victim if she knew how to stop somebody from having intercourse with her and if she could have closed her legs, is remorseful for his comments and ready to take a punishment the higher courts seem fit, his attorney said. You know your ass is grass. Superior Court Judge Ross Rozelle Jr. appeared before the state Senate court on Tuesday afternoon for disciplinary hearings regarding his comments to the rape victim and 3 other counts of judicial misconduct. Rozelle did not speak during the 20 minutes of the oral argument. He sat with his hands crossed, twiddling his thumbs. Let's see. Let's see. He did not intend to imply that a victim of rape assault should close her legs to avoid rape. His attorney, what's that? I can pronounce her last name, Carol, told the 7-member Supreme Court he now understands that his intentions did not matter. He understands that what matters only is the impact his words had on others. He is remorseful about the hurt that this may have caused the plaintiff. Okay, so basically an advisory panel from the court in April, and wrote that his conduct and demonstrated an emotional immaturity, wholly unbefitting the judicial office. It is what it is, my royal family. Let me see here. So basically, when I drop down, it just says the panel will consist of 9 members who do not come to... Damn, they fucked that up. I'll leave that alone. They misspelled that way off. What did they mean by that? Did not come to a decision on the length of... Okay, that's what it was supposed to be. They did not come to a decision on the length of Rozelle's suspension. 5 have issued the 3-month recommendation, while the other 4 thought 6 months would be more fitting for the severity of his conduct. Lightweight ass shit. I'm not gonna read all of this. They just talk about his salary and all of that kind of stuff. So, but he got some other problems that he is running into, and I want y'all to hear this exchange. So this was back in March 14th, 2019. Judge Rozelle sued by attorneys who won Fox News they should have said sexual harassment suit. All right. So listen to how both of these lawyers give him that, to me, both of them did, give him that work. It's almost a 2-minute video.
The audio recording of the June 16th hearing, and after the parties left the courtroom, you can clearly hear Judge Russo say to staff, "Did you hear that sex stuff?" And something about fun and games out here. And it was obvious it was cut off at that point.
And now Judge Russo has to respond to new evidence relating to a conversation that took place after he made a decision.
Didn't you start the conversation with, "What do you think?" And then staff said something, and then you said, "What do you think of that? Did you hear that sex stuff?"
I just testified that. I leaned over to my law clerk. They don't have much to do, or they really don't have any official role in domestic violence cases. And I wanted her to come out and listen to at least that day when we were making the ruling. This had been a case, I think it was my longest domestic violence case. It was 3 days. And it had taken on a life of its own. When I leaned over to her, I said to her, "Can you believe all that sex stuff? It's not just fun and games out here," meaning this is tough. This is not, the easiest thing to have to deal with.
And isn't it true that those comments about sex stuff and fun and games were made by you before there was any reference to the defense attorney calling her an exotic dancer?
Yes, that was while we were still on the record and the courtroom was emptying out. I leaned over to my law clerk, and that's when I made those comments.
Okay.
Inappropriate. You're supposed to remain professional at all.
But when you said you...
At all times. At all times. Wait a minute. Is this more about this fool? I think so. I didn't see this. Oh yeah, let's get this in. Let me see what's going on.
That I was suggesting were ways to...
But when you said you were trying to list ways to stop sexual assault so that she could be helped, do you now come to understand that closing legs is not a way to stop a rape?
Absolutely. And again, none of those things that I was suggesting were ways to stop rape, but they could have been part of something that somebody did.
Well, there might have been something someone did, but it wasn't. But closing legs does not inhibit someone's ability to be raped,
Yes.
and that's what I want to understand.
Yeah, physically, I understand that. But that really wasn't what I was intending to do when I asked her these things. The question from the defense attorney was, how would one fend off unwanted sexual advances? And when she said she didn't understand the question, because I think she was still reacting to him in what he said earlier. She was not answering that question. I think she understood what he was trying to ask. All I was trying to do, and I would not do that part again, is list the things that came into my mind in that given moment. But none of those things would be how somebody would fend off rape. They were just components of things I could think of to maybe get her to start testifying if there was something more to her story.
Okay, you didn't hung
Wanted
your
to test
stuff.
drive a Subaru without leaving your...
Let me shut that off. Now that was a surprise on me, my royal family. I'm going to admit it. That was a straight surprise on me. I did not know that. So bonus video on me. We heard it right out of the horse's mouth about closing your legs. And then your ass, they secured a $20 million settlement. Oh, from an anchor woman. Ooh, I'll put those articles in there for the royal family to read. But I just felt the need to put this up because they just all happen to be in New Jersey too as well, which is deep. That was really deep. But we know that they are doing this throughout the United States. And even got a female judge doing her dirt too as well. Like I have been reading many comments, and I remember when I did the video on the girl who was kidnapped almost a year, and he got a slap on the wrist, and then when the victim's family gave the impact statement, they said he wasn't a monster. They didn't even really seem like they was really angry. They wanted him to be a productive member of society. They letting him on the street. We hear Lisa all the time talking about, no, the criminals are not locked up. The real criminals are roaming the streets of America. We got one on the world stage, the president. Oh yeah, that's their leader. That is their leader. But this is another example of the enemy eating its own. So my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.